Okay, this is a reaction video. This is from Diane Jennings. I've never seen this before. 10 lies Europeans believe about American people. I have no clue what you think. I mean, I get an idea. Sometimes I get some of the comments, or I read some of the comments that you think about Americans, and some people have never been here before, or they have been here before. They've been to like the New York, Chicago, and Los Angeles areas, and they think that's what Americans are like, and I would say no, not a whole lot, but okay. 10 lies Europeans believe about American people. Let's see what these things are, okay? Please click like, share, and subscribe for her. Please click like, share, and subscribe for me. Let's see what's going on here.
The next lie, okay, and this might just be a me thing, but the next lie that I believed about America before I went to America, and I actually think you're going to probably slag me off for this in comments. So today,
well, let's take a look.
Today I'm going to be talking about 10 weird lies Europeans are told about America. Things that
Who's telling these lies too, by the way? Who came up with this stuff?
I learned growing up, and that then once I visited America, I kind of had to unlearn. In case you're interested, I also have a list doing this the other way around, so let me know below in comments if you want to see.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably things that I was told about Europe. Well, let's move on. I don't want to jump in without knowing what the hell I'm talking about.
The lies Americans are told about Europe. Okay, the first lie that I was told was that Hollywood is full of shiny things and celebrities are...
Hollywood's a crap hole, okay? Hollywood is where people go. You'll say, "Oh, we're going to make movies and all stuff like that." But no, anybody who's ever been to Southern California, well, Southern California in general, California is absolutely a garbage hole as far as I'm concerned. I've been there. I was born there. My cousin lives there. Two of my cousins live there. But no, Hollywood is not a beautiful place. I mean, you think of it as this place where you go and you become a movie star, blah blah blah. No, it's crap hole.
Are just everywhere. I'm going to say it. Hollywood itself is kind of a kip.
Wow, she really went there.
When I was there, I may have seen some celebrities, but they were keeping really low key and had baseball caps on, so they were very hard to spot. And Hollywood, as I said, is not that shiny and wonderful. The Hollywood sign itself is, I'll be honest, it's kind of a letdown. I guess I picked...
It's just a sign on a hill is all it is. Okay, you see it, you've seen it once, you've seen it. Okay, it's the Hollywood Hills. Whoopee.
Pictured Beverly Hills when I thought of Hollywood, but no. The next lie that Europeans are told about America is that it's just full of extremes. And don't get me wrong, it is, but it's not just extremes.
No, I mean, when you talk about it, well, let's see, we should talk about extremes.
Our perception through the media is that Americans are either really fat or really fit. They're either total jocks or nerds.
No. America is all walks, all shapes, all sizes, all walks of life. We are not in extremes by any stretch of the imagination. Like when I was over in Europe, in Germany, I was only in one country, Germany. It was no different from anything else. Okay, everybody looked exactly. I know I was in Germany, but the people looked just the same as they looked back home in the United States.
Stereotypes from movies. And like I said, don't get me wrong, those stereotypes exist for a reason. However, the majority of people are not extremes. They're just regular, in-between people with thoughts and feelings that vary and are nuanced.
And the funny thing is, that shouldn't really surprise anybody. It didn't really surprise me when I was over there, and it really shouldn't surprise people if they come over here.
The next lie that Europeans are told about America is that you just quit your jobs whenever you want to. And that's...
Well, Americans do quit their jobs as regularly as anybody else does, but for other reasons. You generally don't quit a job. At least I never tried to quit a job unless I already had one. Now, if you're fired, that's one thing. But if you want to quit your job, you make sure you have another job waiting for you.
Again, from TV shows and films, people just go, "I quit" when they're unhappy or having a bad day.
You're fired. I quit. You're fired.
I quit.
You're fired!
It's certainly not like that.
You're fired!
Right, I mean, I already quit. So.
Additionally, we think from the same sources that you can just go, "You are fired" out of the blue, and there's no repercussion.
Nobody ever does it like that. I have been fired before, and generally they bring you into a room with one or two people, and they sit down and say, "We've decided to move on, and you're no longer part of our plans." So it's basically like that. That's what I was told.
For that. In fact, a lot of times contracts are in place and stuff, and it just doesn't work like that in the real world. On The Apprentice, they do the "you're fired," but that's a specific place. The next lie that you were told about America as a European is that everybody in America is obsessed with celebrity.
You know, the first time I ever saw a celebrity. I'll tell you a couple of stories. Back in 2000, and these quote unquote celebrities wouldn't even know who I was. Okay, could care, wouldn't remember it. Not a big deal. If you ever saw the movie The Mummy, Oded Fehr, the guy who it was in the beginning, it was written that Imhotep and blah blah blah, that guy. I met him outside a place in downtown Los Angeles. My cousin was going to a birthday party of a friend he knew, and I remember my brother was sitting there, and I think he said we met him. He was outside, shook his hand. Like I said, I doubt he would remember. His name was Oded Fehr. We were sitting inside, and there was a woman behind me, and my brother looked. He goes, "That woman looks an awful lot like Barbara Hershey." And I turned around and said, "Yeah, it does look like Barbara Hershey." And we went on back to our business. And then my cousin comes sits down. "Hey, you guys see Barbara Hershey in here?" Okay. And I've been, I went to a couple of Star Trek conventions to see what they were like. And I walked up, it was in Indianapolis, I stood about 5 feet from Patrick Stewart. One of the things I've learned, they're just people like anybody else. They're not any different. No, in fact, we went to a Comic-Con here in Columbus. I saw a bunch of celebrities there as well. Big whoop. Okay, it's not a big deal. But no, we're not obsessed with celebrities.
Whereas actually, the truth couldn't be farther from that. Okay, so in Europe, a lot of our celebrities come from America. So we naturally presume that everybody is completely obsessed with celebrities within America. In actual fact, most people just kind of see their lives and what goes on behind the scenes as a little bit of entertainment, just like we do in Europe.
The thing is, what I think when you talk about celebrities, and I've seen interviews where it goes, "Do you think American people look up to celebrities?" Of course they do. Of course. No, we don't. We think they're as full of it as anybody else. Okay, I could care less what anybody thinks about politics or something like that. I could care less. It's one of the stupidest things going, is that being obsessed with a celebrity, because I could care less what they think. They're just as full of it as anybody else.
I will say is kind of odd as a European, always when I go to America, is seeing on your mainstream news the focus on celebrities within actual serious news programs. We don't really have that as much in Europe. I know in the UK they focus a lot on royalty.
Make way for the loser!
But you don't tend to see people talking about celebs on news shows as much in Europe. The next lie, okay, and this might just be a me thing, but the next lie that I believed about America before I went to America, and I actually think you're going to probably slag me off for this in comments. I thought that you guys only had roll-on deodorant.
No, we got the sprays. We got everything, every possible thing you could possibly think of with deodorant. Now, I use antiperspirant because I'm allergic to deodorant. My skin itches like crazy if I put deodorant on, so I have to use antiperspirant.
I thought you didn't have spray-on deodorant. Because in movies, people always roll on their deodorant, in the changing rooms and stuff. I know you have Old Spice and stuff like that, but for some reason, I had it in my head that in America, spray-on deodorant didn't exist. And I was always like, wow, they should really get spray-on deodorant. I guess they don't use it in films because it goes and it would make a noise, whereas it's easier to just do
That's what I would think too, but no, we have sprays as well as anything else.
the roll on if you're shooting.
Again, the opening scene in Pulp Fiction, and what John Travolta says to Samuel L. Jackson, they got the same stuff over here we got over here, and it's the same thing. We got the same thing over here you guys have over there, and there's no difference.
A TV scene, you don't have to have that. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's just a me. If you're from Europe, did you know that spray-on deodorant existed in America? Because I didn't. The next misconception that Europeans have about America is that you're all really rich. And I get why.
No, that is definitely not true. Everyone is rich. No. Well, there's much way of looking at what you're talking about as our rich is concerned, but no, we are not all wealthy, and we don't all drive on gold-plated streets, and nobody's rich. No, there are some rich people, and but no, we're not all rich.
Why this misconception exists, to be fair,
From the movies, probably going back to celebrities. From the movies, you see everybody driving around, even has 3 cars and 5-bedroom, 3-bath house.
your houses and the land that your houses are on are generally a lot bigger than what we have in Europe for middle class people. Additionally, many people in America live on credit, so a lot of people are living above their means to what they really should be living. And the thing about credit in America is you are encouraged to use credit. Like, a lot of things you can't get until you build up credit, which exists in Europe, but it isn't so much focused on. Like, there are other ways to build up your trust with banks. And as I've mentioned before, I've never seen poverty quite like I've seen in America. In Europe, of course, there are homeless people, but not in the same way that they are in America.
The truth about the United States is, and this has been the truth for a while now, is that you have people who have a lot, and there are people who don't. And the press in this country has taken a side in the political battle. They've taken a side on the left. And a lot of people believe what's right and how things should be going from the left side of the political aisle. And no matter what, so for example, if you go to Los Angeles right now, and you really do a deep dive there, you'll see a bunch of tent cities of homeless people who are on drugs and things like that, living on the streets. That's left, and you have DAs who don't care, or district attorneys who basically let the criminals back out on the streets, and they're allowed to get away with it. And that's where we are. And so what she's talking about is the homeless problem in the United States has gotten worse, and it has gotten worse. And at the risk of being political, the reason is because we're letting we're not locking up our criminals, but we're defunding our police, and that's where we are.
It really shocked me. Because I went over expecting, as I said, pretty much everybody to be super rich, and then I saw people looking like Oliver Twist on the street, and that was a surprise to me.
That's also in the bigger cities too. Okay, not all places are like that. Okay, there are places you can go where it's actually affordable, and you can actually get by with a reasonable lifestyle. But the bigger cities that are run by the Democrats or the left-wing people, they've been having their problems, and that's not me taking a side. That's just saying what's going on. That's what I see.
Additionally, some things in America are a lot cheaper than they are where I come from in Ireland. Ireland has just been named alongside Denmark as the most expensive country in Europe for the cost of living. The prices of goods and services in Ireland are on average 40% higher than they are anywhere else in the EU. And then when I went to America, it was like things were more expensive in some areas but cheaper in other areas.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. There's some places you can go where you can get by. Like a prime example, my cousin's condo in Culver City in Los Angeles. Okay, he paid about $323,000 for that. That's not much bigger than my place. Okay, here where I pay in Ohio, I $73,000. Okay, $73,000 versus $300,000. Now he's done some remodeling to his place. Probably $700,000 or $800,000 to get his place. Here, mine $150,000, $175,000 now. So that's the reality.
So I was surprised because I thought everything would be the same, if not more expensive when I went there. The next lie that we are told about America, and this should come as no surprise, and I don't want to get bogged down in the discussion too much, but it's that Everybody there has pew-pews. And they don't. Not everybody does. In fact,
I'm guessing pew pew means guns. No, I don't own a gun. I've never owned a gun. I have no desire to own a gun. Never even fired a gun.
it's a very divided country on people's opinions about that, but people...
But I don't have a problem with people owning guns. My brother owns guns. Okay, but I don't. If you want my girlfriend's brother-in-law, he owns guns. Okay, I have no problem with people owning guns as long as they use it responsibly. Okay, that's, again, my opinion. Okay, but I don't own a gun. I've never fired a gun. Don't desire to own one. Don't have a desire to really shoot one. Okay, so.
Well, I have very strong opinions about that, and I'm going to swiftly move on. I just thought that every single person would have one when I went there, and that's not the case. The next lie that Europeans are told about America is that pretty much teenagers run America, if media was to be believed, and movies and TV shows.
Well, look at it right now. If you look at what the teenagers of America think, you could easily get that impression. But no, America does not revolve around teenagers. Okay, they have a lot to learn, and look, anybody who was a teenager like I was, and we were all teenagers. That was the dumbest thing I think I've ever said. Yeah, we were all teenagers. Okay, when you're a teenager, you think you know everything, and then when you get older, you realize you didn't know squat. Okay, that falls down. I think the Samuel Clemens, Mark Twain said, "It's amazing how stupid I thought my parents were at 17, how smart they became when I was 25." That's where that falls from. But no, America does not revolve around teenagers.
In actual fact, I have still not seen a cheerleader when I've gone to America. I have never been invited to a prom or homecoming, and that seems like an integral part of your society from film and TV. So, yeah, I know movies and TV.
Those are important things. Graduation, proms, homecomings, that sort of thing. But those are really more rites of passage than anything else. It's not something that, hey, Julie just came in from England. There's a prom at this high school. Let's go. It doesn't work like that. Those are rites of passage that you do as you're growing up, things that you experience as you're growing up. Now, my brother, I don't believe he ever went to the prom. I don't think he ever did any homecoming thing. Maybe he did. I don't know. I don't remember him doing that. I don't think he cared. I don't think he cares right now. But for some people, those are rites of passage in the United States.
TV shows aren't real, but I definitely thought that teenagers would have a more central role in America as a result of watching so many of them. The next lie that we are told about America is that you guys eat fast food constantly. And
look, we eat a lot of fast food. There's no question about it. We don't eat a lot of fast food constantly. That's one thing. Look, fast food is huge in America. No question about it. McDonald's. I mean, we have regional fast foods. Like, the ones that are national are McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's. But you also have regional ones like Jack in the Box and In-N-Out Burger, Wiener Schnitzel's, Whataburger, and White Castle's regional, and things like that. But we don't subsist on fast food. A lot of us poor people sit around home and buy stuff from the grocery and actually cook.
that actually could not be further from the truth. Americans, more so than anywhere else in the world, love to cook. Americans love to barbecue. It's like your thing. You're like, my grill, my barbecue, you're mad for cooking. There is fast food on every corner in America, so that's where the perception comes from. It's a lot easier to get your hands on, but most Americans don't eat fast food every single day. You cook for the most part. I definitely thought Americans just ate TV dinners and fast food constantly, and cooking was like something you did at family events.
This is actually illuminating to me. I got a little political there. Well, I tried not to get political, but I gave my 2 cents. And whether you agree with me or disagree, I'll leave that up to you. But because it sounded like I was pointing my finger at the left and the media, and they do serve their purpose, and I don't want to get that impression. But it is interesting what you think about Americans in general, because here's the other thing: is we are not all the same. We are a mixing pot. We have different philosophies and different beliefs, and we don't all. You have to say all. You can't really. What's a typical American? I have no idea. I've never seen a typical American because not everybody thinks like I do. Am I a typical American? Who knows?
The next line that we were told about America is that your breakfasts are crazy. Like, you eat waffles and pancakes and cereal every single morning. You have a full feast for breakfast every day.
Not true. Okay, look. Every Saturday, I meet my brother and my parents at a place, and we get breakfast. Okay, that's a family ritual that we do whenever my parents are in town. My parents live half the year up here, half the year down in Florida. So, but when they're up here, every Saturday we meet and we do have what she calls a feast. Okay. However, most Americans, it's, we might have cereal. We might have, we don't make this big giant, what's the word I'm looking for? We don't make a giant production of breakfast. Okay. Some people probably do. Just like somebody who, assuming you have a stay-at-home mom who wants to get the kids off to school, they come down, sit down there, and this also perception comes from movies and TVs where you see there they got juice toast, they got all 9 yards. I've got eggs. Most people, most of my breakfasts have been grab an apple out of the fridge, or maybe grab something to take with me, or even stop at a place and pick up a donut or something like that. That's pretty much it. I mean, most people don't make a huge production over breakfast.
So yay! Enjoy smelling breakfast.
In fact, I think most Americans probably live on just the same kinds of breakfast as most of us Europeans do. Of course, we have Irish breakfast, you have American breakfast, which consists of waffles and pancakes. They do exist. But mostly, I think our general day breakfasts cross over. You might have a bowl of porridge, a bowl of cereal, a slice of toast.
Nobody has porridge in the United States. I've never even seen porridge on the menu of any place. I don't even know what the hell porridge is. I mean, the closest, I guess, maybe I probably need to look it up. And I've heard of porridge, but maybe oatmeal is, I don't know. Tell me what porridge is, because I've heard of it. I've never had it, never seen it on the menu, never tried it.
Just a bit of coffee. I definitely thought it was like America-themed breakfast every single day, whereas that's not really sustainable, and you would be carrying a lot of extra weight if you ate that every single day. I would love to have American breakfast every single day, but it's not a good idea. Although the same could be said for Irish breakfast. You should not eat Irish breakfast every single day, because to be honest, after I have an Irish breakfast, it's delicious, but it slows me down. I like to have a little nap after an Irish breakfast. The next lie we're told about America, and there's truth in this one, but not as much as I had thought, it's that you will go around suing each other constantly.
I've never been sued. I've never sued anybody. I don't intend to sue anybody. No. Yeah, there are. Look, this goes to something, another video I did talk about lawyers promoting themselves on TV. A lot of the lawsuits I see are usually frivolous and stupid and waste of time, waste of money, waste of resources. But no, we don't go around suing each other.
America is an extremely litigious country, but I think that's also due to the proportion of people compared to everywhere else in the world. Like, if there's more people somewhere, there's going to be more people suing people, right? But the impression that we are given of Americans is that if you bang your head on something, you're going to sue the company that built that something. Whereas the truth is, most times when something happens, people just let it go unless there's like serious ramifications. I definitely did think people just went around suing each other. I don't think that this is not fueled by the urban myths that are created on the internet. For example, there's that urban myth about the woman in America who sued McDonald's because her coffee was too hot, whereas if you actually go and look that up, the truth is that woman was actually really badly injured and that the coffee was way hotter than it should have been. But people like these extravagant headlines, and it makes Europeans think that Americans do just go around being like, you're sued, you're sued, you're sued. And also I thought that every American just had a lawyer on standby, because when you see things again, people go, call my lawyer. Most people.
Now, technically speaking, I have a lawyer on standby. He's my cousin, but I've never used him, at least not that I can recall. I've never had to call him to use his services. I believe his wife is also a lawyer, so I guess I have two on standby if I need them. But I think I can get back. The closest thing I did remember was I remember my mom, they were getting ready to do a contract on a house or something like that. And I think I suggested, well, why don't you send the information to my cousin? I'm not going to give his name out. Well, maybe I should. His name's Mike. Have him take a look at it. And he looked at it and says, okay, so it's nice to have at least a lawyer in the family.
People don't just have a lawyer to call. You generally have to research that. Let me know below in comments if you want to see the other way round version of this. Lies Americans are told about Europe, because it's a long list. I gotta cut that one down, to be honest. Remember to give Hero Wars a download and give it a try. I always appreciate you guys supporting the very limited amount of sponsors I shout out on this channel, and this game is a great little time killer. That's it for today. See you guys on the other side. Bye.
Okay, 10 lies Europeans believe about American people. And I don't know how many you believe if you're in Europe about this, or in America, if you're surprised about any of these things. I got a little political that I didn't intend to do, but I'm not going to lose any sleep over that. If you don't, you can say what you want. Okay, but long story short, this was an interesting list. I enjoyed it. She did a very good job. I will do a video on the 10 lies Americans believe about Europeans. I mean, there's a few things that I thought that I didn't know when I went over there that I thought you would see. Some of them were true, some of them were not, but I'll get into that in that video. Please click like, share, and subscribe, and have a good rest of your day. Thanks for watching.